What's up, guys? It's Mion. I'm back with another video, and it's time for the next installment in the Road to Revenge series, Elimination Chamber 2023. Now, before I get into that, I do want to say I will be going live tonight for the NASCAR Cup Series duels at Daytona, which sets the field for the Daytona 500 on Sunday. So make sure you're to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you do not miss out on that. I also have diecast reviews that will be going up over the next couple of days, along with Elimination Chamber predictions, Elimination Chamber live stream, Truck Series live stream Friday night, Cup Series Daytona 500 race reaction on Sunday, hopefully. I don't think I'll be doing an Xfinity Series one because the end of that race will cut into the beginning of Elimination Chamber, so there's that. But with all of that being said, just a crap load of content, and I would really appreciate if y'all would subscribe. If you haven't checked out any of the previous videos in the series, there will be a playlist linked in the description below. It'll pop up at the end of the video as well, so make sure and do that. And let's go ahead and let's jump into this. So normally I do these videos with some form of a script. I don't have one for this video, and that's largely because there's only 3 weeks of build, 3 Raws and 3 SmackDowns between the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, considering that Saturday marks 4 weeks since, or 4 Saturdays since the Rumble. Because then, of course, Raw is on the following Monday. So I have a pretty good idea of what I want, and I think I can just run through it in this video off rip, and then there will be a script for the WrestleMania edition of this series because it's a big one. So there's going to need to be one. But I'm going to go this video without one. So, with that being said, we head to the first Raw after the Royal Rumble, and of course, with all of the recent shenanigans that have happened towards Bianca Belair and how she lost the Raw Women's title to Rhea Ripley, and so on and so forth, and then getting eliminated last by Charlotte Flair in the Royal Rumble, she obviously wants the title shot against Rhea Ripley to try to get her belt back because you have all the shenanigans with Alexa and the darkness and all this other stuff. Again, this is why you got to see the previous videos to kind of understand where we're going here. But of course, as always, this is the Raw side update that I'll do at the beginning. I should have mentioned that before, but I digress. Essentially, what happens between now and Elimination Chamber is Bianca tries to get a title rematch out of Rhea. Rhea has Bianca not only face a few opponents between then and the Elimination Chamber, but she tells her she has to go into and win the Elimination Chamber to get the title shot. And if she doesn't, then she's going to WrestleMania to face somebody else. She will not face Rhea. At least that's what Rhea thinks. So, Bianca ends up facing Sonya Deville, Carmella, and let's go ahead and let's say Piper Niven on the 3 Raws before Elimination Chamber. Beats all 3. So that's how she gets into the Elimination Chamber match. The last spot is determined by a Raw versus SmackDown like 4-way sort of match, which ends up getting won by Liv Morgan. And so you're probably wondering about the other 3 slots. Well, or the other 4 rather. Well, that's where we head to SmackDown, the main portion of the video. So Charlotte opens the first SmackDown after the Royal Rumble. Her music goes on, and she hustles her ass out to the ring. Grabs a mic, yells to the back to cut her music, and immediately rips into Alexa Bliss, calling her out, saying, "There's only one person in this company whose title I want, and it's the SmackDown Women's title and Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania, because I will not let her hold that title past that show. That title is mine, and I should have had it back quite a while ago. But at WrestleMania, I put an end to Alexa Bliss. I put an end to all this nonsense once and for all. Alexa Bliss, get your ass out here right now." Yeah, just like a pissed off mother in a way. And Alexa comes out and she just laughs. And that's the thing that pisses Charlotte off is whenever Alexa just straight up laughs at her for how pissed off she is, it just makes her even more mad. And Alexa says, Charlotte, 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 congratulations, you're back. Not necessarily happy to see you, but I had a feeling this was coming. And I already have a contingency plan in place. And Charlotte just looks at her dead in the eye and just says, fuck your contingency plan. I want my title shot. I earned it. We're making this happen whether you like it or not. And Alexa says, I don't have a problem with facing you again. I don't have a problem with beating you again. But what I do have a problem with is you entered the Royal Rumble at number 30. You waited until the very end when everybody else is either eliminated or tired, beat down, and you entered. You barely did a thing. Yeah, you eliminated a couple of people, but you barely broke a sweat, didn't you? So, that being said, if you want to keep your title shot, Charlotte, and I know you do, because I know how bad you want this, you're going to have to go and defend it in the Women's Elimination Chamber match. And Charlotte gets pissed. Now, to be fair, I understand the opinion of people saying that you shouldn't have to defend a title shot. If you want it, you want it. It's yours. But Alexa's doing this to Charlotte because just to piss her off even more. Because she knows it gets to her. She knows that. It's mind games. And Charlotte just looks at her and she's like, fine. They can put whoever they want in there. I'm going to beat them all and prove once again why I am better than you. Because if you had to go in there with 5 other women who all want to beat your ass, they would beat your ass. And you would lose that goddamn title. And Alexa just looks at her and she's like, you seem to forget in a past life, referring to her goddess gimmick, I was in the Elimination Chamber. I entered as champion and I retained my championship. So that don't work on me, honey. That don't work on me. But see, there's a caveat to this whole thing. It's not just that you're entering the Elimination Chamber, Charlotte. You're going to be entering first. You'll be one of the first 2 entered in that match. And as a bonus, Becky, Bayley, and Sasha will all be in the match with you. Just for that little extra touch of challenge. Not only do you have to defend your title shot, but to be one of the first 2 to start the match and to go against all 3 of my girls, along with the 2 other combatants, you're going to have quite a hard time, Charlotte. I won't be surprised if you lose. And if you do, that's okay. Because maybe one of my girls will get that title shot. And it will ensure that I'll go through WrestleMania without having to face you. Because to be honest with you, Charlotte, you don't deserve shit. Mic drop. Alexa laughs, walks to the back, and Charlotte stands there in the ring, speechless and livid at the amount of disrespect that Alexa just threw at her. So, week 2 on SmackDown, week 2 of 3, that is. Charlotte comes out, gets a match with, let's say, Zia Lee, and absolutely kicks the crap out of her. And I hate doing that to Zia because I do think she's awesome. But Charlotte demands this out of Adam Pearce because she wants to make an example out of somebody to make an example to Alexa what all the other combatants in the Elimination Chamber match are going to be dealing with. A pissed off, livid, ready to whoop ass Charlotte Flair. So sorry, Zia. Unfortunately, you get sacrificed here. I'm sorry. Don't hate me for that. And Charlotte gets on the mic afterward and says, that right there is a preview of what's going to come at Elimination Chamber. You can throw anybody you want at me. One by one, they will all go down. I'm coming for you, Alexa. You can't run from me forever. I'm taking back what's mine, whether you like it or not. We don't get an Alexa appearance this episode, but again, Charlotte's losing her mind. That's one of the biggest things, is Charlotte is losing her mind. And it's gonna, and just that loss of sanity is gonna play roles moving forward. So we get to the go home SmackDown, and once again, and Charlotte comes out, cuts another scathing promo of hers against Alexa. We do get Alexa this time, though. You also get Sasha, Becky, and Bayley on the outside on each side of the ring, with Alexa walking up to the ring and getting up on the apron in front of her. So basically, Charlotte is stuck in the middle of the ring with all four of them on the outside. And Charlotte looks her dead in the eye and says, they don't scare me. They haven't scared me. You can do whatever you want with them, but it doesn't matter. Nobody is stopping me from beating you. And Alexa just looks at her, laughs again, and just says, tomorrow night, we'll see about that. Charlotte, it's been a ride, hasn't it? That feeling of beating you back at SummerSlam, it still never gets old. I watch that back every now and again. Just that feeling of victory. It meant so much. And it still means so much. Because this title right here is mine. It belongs to me. And nobody's taking it from me. Not you or anyone else. So then she jumps off the apron, looks at the others, and says, girls, get her. And Sasha, Becky, and Bayley blitz Charlotte. Now, Charlotte gets out of the way a little bit, but she does get grabbed, brought down to the mat, and just gets pummeled before kicking out and starting to fight back. That gets all three of them out of the ring. They join Alexa, and Charlotte just stares her down once again. Just so much anger in her eyes. So you go into the Women's Elimination Chamber match with Charlotte's title shot from the Royal Rumble on the line. If she wins, she faces Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania. And oh, I can't wait to do that video because that's going to be a lot of fun. If she loses, one of the other five gets the chance to challenge Alexa. However, of course, if it goes to Sasha, Becky, or Bayley, they forfeit the title shot, so Alexa gets to retain her belt regardless. So, Charlotte enters number 1, as mentioned previously. Liv Morgan enters number 2. So Bianca has to sit in the pod, and she just looks at the other three, Becky, Bayley, and Sasha, and just looks at them just a little freaked out, because knowing what she went through with Alexa before. So Charlotte and Liv start things off, and Charlotte right out of the gate, automatic spear to Liv Morgan. I'm not saying that Charlotte pins Liv off and knocks her out of the match right off the gate, right out of the bat like that, but it just, the intensity just goes from 0 to 100 real quick. Liv's a fighter. She does indeed fight back, but Charlotte just beats the piss out of her. Bianca comes in at number 3 and actually saves Liv for a minute. It's not necessary. Remember, they have previous beef, but ever since Bianca has come back to her senses, you know, she's kind of getting back towards being her regular EST self, but she's not quite there yet. She's getting there. It's a process. But she helps Liv out. She gets her away from Charlotte, and Charlotte just looks at the both of them and just says, "You gonna fight me? Huh? Come on!" Come at me. I was like, all right. And they do. So you get Charlotte versus Bianca versus Liv. And then, as soon as the timer clocks down for the fourth entrant, everything. The lights don't go all the way down, but they darken. And underneath Becky and Bayley and Sasha's pods, they all illuminate red light. And you hear Alexa's voice over the loudspeakers and it says, "Girls, there will be no waiting. Get them." And all three pods enter. See, here's the thing. Like, WWE had the opportunity to rig the 2020 Women's Elimination Chamber match so that, or set it up in such a way where Shayna just eliminates the whole field and you don't have that waiting period between her and Asuka and or whatever. Or Asuka could have just came in right after Shayna took Liv out. Here, you make something out of that where Alexa, and you make it in kayfabe where Alexa's the one that rigs it so that Sasha, Becky, and Bayley all enter the match at the same time and attack all three of Charlotte, Bianca, and Liv, particularly Bianca and Liv, because they don't want them in the match. They only want Charlotte. So Bianca and Liv have to fight 3-on-2. Charlotte is not going to help them whatsoever. And Becky pins Liv. Sasha pins Bianca, which is kind of poetic considering that the feuds that both of that each pairing have had. Bianca and Liv get ousted from the match after a little bit, a little bit after Sasha, Becky, and Bayley entered, and now it's 3-on-1. Charlotte versus Sasha, Becky, and Bayley. And Charlotte looks at all three of them. They surround her. And Charlotte just, does that thing The Rock would do or anybody doing Kung Fu would do. You're not going to really see it, but she just puts her arm out. Come at me. And they do. And they attack Charlotte, but this time she's able to fight back a little bit quicker than she did on SmackDown. Charlotte shoves Becky, throws Bayley into Sasha, and just starts going after them, but they go after her in return. So it's the 3-on-1 dynamic. Charlotte realizes she has to get one of them eliminated quickly, and she sets her sights towards Bayley, because why not? She ends up countering Bayley's Bayley to belly suplex into another move. Not sure which, but I'm sure you could figure one out. And then pins her. And though Becky and Sasha do try to break the pin up, they're not close enough, and Bayley gets eliminated. So Bayley's out after a handful of minutes. So now it's down to 2-on-1. Becky and Sasha against Charlotte. Charlotte gets up, Bayley's eliminated, and she leaves the ring. The refs kind of have to, kind of get her away because Bayley wants to go back after Charlotte, but she can't. Charlotte looks at Becky and Sasha, waits for them to attack her. They do. She gets out of the way. They run into each other, and Charlotte goes for the quick pin on Sasha, eliminates her, so it brings it back down to Charlotte and Becky. Now, in real time, this match isn't going as fast as it is, but it's definitely a high-impact, fast-paced match because Charlotte knows the urgency that she needs to have to defeat everybody. And now she's gotten it down to just her versus Becky, a tale as old as time. And Becky just starts battering Charlotte for eliminating her teammates. And Charlotte gets knocked around a bunch, but after a few minutes, she starts fighting back. She starts deflecting some of Becky's offense and starts hitting her back with her own. And catches her off guard enough to where Becky at one point gets knocked down, gets hit with natural selection. She gets back up and then gets nailed with a spear. Charlotte has to hit another spear for good measure, but Becky still kicks out at 2. And at this point, Charlotte just loses her mind and just starts railing on Becky, just hammering her, pulls a steel chair out, nails her with that a couple of times. Obviously not headshots, but we know that. But just nails her with it. Kendo stick, nails her with it. Just whatever she could find in this match to put Becky down, because Becky is the fiercest of the three, not counting Alexa. She is the fiercest of the three and wants it so bad to put Charlotte down. And Charlotte just keeps battering her and battering her and battering her and battering her until finally Becky's weakened enough. One more spear. Charlotte wins, retains her Royal Rumble title shot. Lights go out. Lights come back up, kind of. It's just a white spotlight on the ring inside the chamber. Alexa has now appeared. She stands face to face with Charlotte, looks her in the eye, and says, "Congratulations, you just signed your death warrant at WrestleMania. See you then." Lights go back out. Lights come back up. Alexa disappears. Charlotte's the only one left in the ring. Becky, Sasha, and Bayley have also disappeared. So Charlotte is left in the ring, steaming, but victorious. And WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood, Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title. I'm not going to say what kind of match it's going to be, because it's going to be a stipulation match, and it's going to be fun. And I can't wait to go over it, because, oh God, this to me is going to be fun as hell. But with that being said, once again, make sure to catch me on here later tonight for live streaming the Daytona Duels. I'll also make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on future videos and streams. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.